Every Sunday at St. Barnabas, we host over 100 guests in our building. Oftentimes, that number is 150, 200, or even more. Whether they are members of the church who have been attending for decades or visitors attending for the first time, our purpose as a congregation is the same: to demonstrate the love of Jesus Christ through our hospitality. Welcoming folks into this physical space isn't just a matter of good manners. It's one of the ways we live out God's love as a spiritual practice.
We are so glad that members of this faith community are willing to serve in this particular role of greeter. It's a position that has taken lots of shapes over the years, and we know it's a position many saints of this church have served in faithfully. But since the pandemic, the needs of our church on Sunday mornings have changed, and we also want to make sure that our folks who are greeting on Sundays know all the details they might need to introduce our building and our ministries to guests and members alike. We are going to go step by step through the job description. Please feel free to pause and take notes or rewind and listen again if you need to. And thank you again for serving in this important role at St. Barnabas.
During the program year, when Sunday school starts at 9 o'clock and coffee hour starts at 8:45, we ask greeters to be here in Hannah Hall by 8:45. Ordinarily, we will have 2 greeters each Sunday. If you feel physically up to doing so, open the door for folks as they enter. Otherwise, you can just wait inside the door. And of course, you do what greeters do. You greet people. Welcome to church. Welcome to St. Barnabas. Good morning. Good to see you. Obviously, you don't have to greet familiar faces in the same way that you do familiar ones, but it is important to remember that longtime members are just as deserving of hospitality as visitors are. Maybe the biggest job greeters have each week is to be the first point of contact for visitors. Anybody who isn't familiar with the building itself or the Sunday morning routine. If somebody walks in who you do not recognize, introduce yourself and ask their names. Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome to St. Barnabas. Is this your first time visiting? If their answer is no, we've been before, don't be embarrassed. Our church is big enough to where visitors and even new members haven't met all the other members before. Just respond with, "Well, I'm glad to meet you. Do you know where you're going?" If you're greeting a first-time visitor or a return visitor who isn't sure where to go, that's when you should begin a longer conversation. Come on over to our welcome table and I can show you around. At this point, one greeter can go with the visitor and the other can remain at the door to greet others. Once you've started a conversation and are helping a visitor, your job is to stay with them until they have reached their final destination.
When a visitor arrives, we have 2 main goals: getting to know them and their hopes and needs from the church, and second, to introduce our church to them. Start with information about them first. Do they have kids with them? Are they looking to go to Sunday school? Are they looking just for the worship service? Would they like some coffee? Do they know someone from the congregation already that maybe invited them, or are they hearing about us from some other way? Try to limit the conversation to no more than 5 minutes so that they feel like we've listened to their story, but also so that they can get on to where they want to go. No matter who they are or why they're visiting, we want to give each family one of our welcome bags, which includes both information about the church and also a couple small gifts. This is a physical reminder when they go home about their visit, which will help keep our church front of mind for them, but also make sure that they have access to any information they need for a return visit in the future. This includes a campus map, welcome flyer with program ministry information, and more. If you think additional items might be of interest to them, say for instance information about our More Light or Earth Care congregation affiliations, our annual report, time and talents, feel free to add those to the bag. When a visitor arrives, we want them to be greeted warmly, get this new information, and then have them on their way within 5 minutes. The on their way part will vary. If they have young children, you can walk them down to the nursery or children's Sunday school rooms. If they're looking for a Sunday school class, you can take them to one of those rooms. If they want coffee, offer them a seat. If they want a tour of the building, feel free to do so. If they want to meet the pastors or other staff, please come and find us. You are their host until they clearly don't need anyone anymore. If they've sat down for worship or found their Sunday school classroom, and even then, you might want to take time to find someone in those spaces and introduce them so there's another familiar face nearby. Now, we have a few quick details to share.
If visitors have young children, you'll of course walk them down to the nursery. Ages 3 months through 3 years usually hang out here. Preschool and pre-K are in room C, although depending on how many kids total are here, they will often be combined. Parents will need to stop by the check-in computer and put their information into Realm and have a badge printed. This is a security measure to make sure that the person who picks up their child is the same person who dropped them off. This check-in system is new, so even long-term members might need to have a hand when they're logging in. If you have any issues, find Jennifer, Owen, or myself for assistance.
You very well might have a guest who is looking for a Sunday school class to sit in on. Elementary age students should go to room G. Middle and high schoolers go to the new youth room, which is in the old room E, right there. Younger adults tend to find a home in Inquisitive Christians in the newly redone room F. That is the Rita Buchan Theater. Others might find a home in the Library Sunday School with Brian Evans. Tori Crook's Prayer and Bible Study has been meeting online since the pandemic, but is often meeting hybrid in room A. Keep an ear open to see if there will be meeting in person on any given week. If possible, introduce the guests to the teacher and ask them if they would like you to come back later and escort them to worship afterwards. Guests will appreciate your help in finding the right classrooms to go to.
Around 10:45, it's time to change locations from Hannah Hall to the sanctuary. One of the greeters should move to the narthex welcome table and greet folks coming through the sanctuary doors the same as they did in Hannah Hall. All of the information on the welcome table is the same. People might be coming through the Hannah Hall doors even up until 10 o'clock, so use your best judgment as to when the second greeter should come and join the first one in the narthex. One big thing to be sharing with people as worship approaches is that any activities taking place after worship. If there's a second Sunday gathering, a congregational meal, or something else, be sure to greet those who are new and returning folks with a reminder of that as well.